Today we are asking some questions on MindBlown mini lessons with Miss Hoover. So our I can statement today is I can ask questions before, during, and after reading, and I can read to find answers. So we are just kind of questioning things about the novel. Maybe that's before, during, or after reading, and I'm going to preview how to do that. So it's important that we remember those question words. So who, what, when, where, why, and how can help us kind of generate some questions that would be helpful for us to understand the novel. You can use sentence starters like I wonder, I have a question about, after reading I learned that. Materials needed today, you need your Chromebook, your chapter book, your asking questions brochure, and a positive can-do attitude. And you're watching this video because the chapter book that you're reading from is perfect for asking questions. So here's an example. So this is from the book, I just had it here, Matilda. And so hopefully if you haven't had a chance yet to read this book, it's a good one. This is what your brochure is going to look like. And I'm not like crazy about this format. So if this question is confusing you, just skip it. It's just going to depend on when you write down your questions. The majority of the time, it's going to be after reading. So it's going to be hard for you to be like, were my questions answered until you read next time. So if it was me, I would just cross that out. Don't worry about it. No big deal. You are going to just list your questions in that brochure where there's lines though. Okay, so mine are kind of here ready to go. You would just list questions that you have after reading, and just don't worry about where your questions answered as you read, because you're probably going to be writing questions after you've already read. So here's my example from Matilda. One comes across parents who take the opposite line, who show no interest at all in their children. And these, of course, are far worse than the doting ones. Mr. and Mrs. Wormwood were two such parents. They had a son called Michael and a daughter called Matilda. And the parents looked upon Matilda in particular as nothing more than a scab. So it's kind of sad. I had a couple questions. This was from Matilda, page 10. I had a couple questions though. So I just wrote those down. Why do Matilda's parents not like her? Do Mr. and Mrs. Wormwood like Michael? Because that was the other child they listed. And why would they have children if they weren't going to look after them? So those would be some questions that I would ask after reading. Sorry, my cat just jumped down. After reading this chapter in Matilda, those would be the questions I would have. So go ahead and formulate some questions with your partner. Remember, you can use those thinking stems, those sentence starters. Those will be on your brochure as well. So come see me if you have questions. Otherwise, happy questioning.